Well, good morning and welcome to the Cooking Principle, Cooking with Kyle. Today is April's birthday and she asked for chicken and dressing for lunch and ham and some other things. It's also Sunday, so it's a very busy day, and so it's about 5:30-ish in the morning, and I'm going to show you how I put together my dressing today. Just bear with us so you can see how delicious it is. Everybody has their own spin, but this is the way that I learned to do it, and I do it very similar to the way that my mother does it. So first thing that I've done, I have 12 cups of chicken broth that are in this stock pot with a stick of butter, and I have it on medium right now just to warm it up. The reason why is because I have made 3 chicken breasts, and I boiled those last night, got them good and done, and I saved all the broth, put that in my refrigerator, and so now I'm just warming this up. It's 12 cups. Once you get that warmed up, I'm going to show you the next part that's very important. I had probably about 6 to 8 cornbread muffins that I want to show you. When I got them out last night and put them out to dry, it's got a lot of lumps. So what I'm doing is just kind of going through and getting those lumps out. You take your hands. Now I just washed my hands. If you don't want to do this, a very quick way of doing it is to run it through your food processor. And I have done that before to save some time, but I'm gonna show you just the old-fashioned way people do it here in the South. You just sit here and run your fingers through it and get all those big lumps out, and that's important. So this probably, with those 6 to 8 muffins, that's probably 1 cornbread pone that you can do. I have a cornbread recipe that is in my cookbook. If you haven't bought my cookbook, the link is on my website. So there's the cookbook. There is a cornbread recipe in there. It tells you just exactly how I make it. So you can follow that for 2 pones. So you're gonna need 2. So what I'm gonna do is just sprinkle that over in there too, crumble it over there, and we'll incorporate that with what I already had that was in my freezer. You want to make sure you get it as fine as possible, fine and coarse as possible. And once you get that done, there's 2 pounds. Once you get that done, we'll put all this together and I'll show you the next part. I've taken a large onion and I've cut it into 4ths here, and I have prepared a food processor. Now what I'm going to do is just put those wedges over into the food processor just like that. That way I don't have to hand chop these. This is a good little hack to show you how you can get all that onion good and chopped up, and you don't have to do it by hand. So what you're going to do is just take the pulse part, or you can do low of your food processor, and get this onion good and fine. And look, see? That saves you so much time. So that's what I'm doing right there. Now I'm going to save probably about maybe 1/3 of a cup to maybe 1/2 of a cup for my giblet gravy. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this out. The rest of it is going to go over into this stock pot that I am warming up all of the broth with. So I'm gonna do that next and I'll show you. All right, I got about 1/3 of a cup, and I'm gonna put that out there for my giblet gravy. Now the rest of this is just going to go over into the stock pot that I have. Now this is very fine onion. A lot of people don't like onion in their dressing, but I will tell you that when I do it like this, people don't even know it's in there, and it's really good. Adds a lot of flavor to your dressing. All right. So then the next thing we're going to do, and oh, it's making me cry. Okay, I got my onion cry over with. Now, I'm coming back into my food processor with about 2 cups of celery. And this celery, I just got it from Walmart. And we're gonna put it down in there. We're gonna do the same thing, just like we did with the onion. You're going to pulse it, or put it on low, however you want to do it. You're good and fine. Some people like to saute their onion and celery. I don't, and here's the reason why. A well-renowned cook one time said that when you saute your vegetables, you basically, what you do is you caramelize it and you lessen the flavor and you enhance the flavor of the butter. I never thought about that. But I really want to taste the vegetables. So the way I do it is I just keep them in this stock pot with the broth, and it will still protect the flavor, but I'm not cooking it down like you would when you saute it. It just really enhances that broth. So again, I'm gonna take out about 1/3 of a cup for my giblet gravy there, and the rest of it is going to go over into the stock pot. All right, so my stock pot, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. All this goodness is down in there, and got the onion and the celery, the 12 cups of broth, and then I've got a stick of butter in there, and I'm just going to give this a stir. You don't have to boil it or anything. Just leave it like that now. But this is how I do it. I leave this in the stock pot. I don't start with the cornbread. Actually, I just let the cornbread go over in there. So we're gonna let it sit here and warm a few minutes. I will show you the next part, which is the eggs. Okay, so I have boiled some eggs, and I have enough for my gravy, enough for this, and then I was gonna make some deviled eggs for today's lunch. But for this one, you're gonna need 6 eggs. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing here, but we're not gonna put it over in there yet. We're just gonna leave it pulsed up, show you the next part. Now you don't wanna crumble it up too much or you'll have egg salad. So, all right, that's all I'm gonna do there. Okay, to my broth, I'm going to add a good bit of salt, and we may add more after we get it mixed up. I'm gonna say about a teaspoon or so, and you can definitely measure that with your heart and do it to taste. If you want to do less salt, that's fine. And then we're going to do about the same amount of sage, ground sage. Just gonna sprinkle that over in there. We don't like a whole lot of sage, probably about a teaspoon there, and just mix that up before you get ready to put all the other stuff in it. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and put my egg over in there. Now I took out about a third, again about a 1/3 cup to save for my gravy. And you don't have to do that. If you don't like gravy, just put it all in there. It's not gonna hurt it. All right, I'm gonna give that a good mix. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is just go in with this cornbread right here, and I'm just gonna start gently putting some over in there. And you probably have never seen it done like this, where you start with your broth first and then add your cornbread. Most people do the cornbread and then they add the broth to it. And there's really no right or wrong way of doing it. It's just how my mama does it, and her mama did it, and her sister, and everybody else in my family. I may not use all of this, but I like to have quite enough, because sometimes you got a little bit too much broth and you need to make sure you got enough cornbread. Now, I do not like dry dressing. I don't like it where you can cut it A lot of people do, but that's not how I grew up eating it. I like mine to be a little on the soupier side. But you do it how you like it. If you like yours thicker, that's the thing about cornbread dressing. You can tweak it till you get the way you like it. Okay? All right, I still need to go in with some more. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and dump all this over in there. Okay, I think that's it. I got just a little bit of cornbread left over. You don't want this to be too dry. See? It's still soupy yet, and that's how you want it right there. Because when you get this all congealed and ready and get it in your pan, it's all gonna firm up anyway. So that's how I want it to look. The next thing I'm going to do is add a whole can of these. This is the family size creamy chicken soup. All right, so we'll go in with this family size cream of chicken. Now this is on a Sunday, so I'm going to cook this different than how I would normally do it, like for Thanksgiving, and cook it a lot longer and a slower temperature while we're at church. So I'll show you how I'm gonna modify that to make it work. Perfect. Looky there. Okay. All right, so I had my chicken. I had some chicken that I boiled. I did 3 breasts. Now, around Thanksgiving, I go for a hen. So if you have a cooking hen or a bacon hen, not a Cornish hen, they're really hard to find, but you have to get them a lot of times around the holidays. Do a bacon hen. With this chicken, now I've definitely kept this in the refrigerator. I cooked it yesterday, and I'm just gonna take the chicken and get it off the bone here, pull it off the bone, and remove any of the skin parts that I don't want in there. And like with your chicken, you're just gonna take your hands and just kind of shred it over in there. So we're gonna do 2 of the breasts that way, and then we'll save 1 breast for the top of the dressing, and I'll show you what that looks like here in a minute. So I've got a pretty large 13 by 9, and it's a big one. You can use a roaster pan or however you want to do it, but I'm just going to do enough for us today for Sunday lunch, and then whatever I have left over, I'm going to freeze. The next thing I usually do is I try to taste it. I'm gonna taste it and make sure it's got enough salt and sage. Okay, already know it's gonna need some salt. Now there's nothing raw in this. I do not put raw eggs in mine. My eggs are boiled, so it's perfectly fine to taste it. And I'm gonna do just a tad bit more sage too. I feel like it needed a little bit more flavor there. Now I'm gonna take a clean spoon, now that one's been used, and taste it one more time and see if it's ready. We'll go from there. It smells like Thanksgiving today. In the middle of May. That's good. Okay. So now I'm gonna take me a soup spoon, and we're just gonna spoon this over in there. I don't want to pull this whole pan up yet. It's a little too heavy, and I don't want to drop it. Those chunks of chicken in there, gosh. I'm gonna go almost to the top with it, and then whatever we don't use for this recipe, we will use or put in our freezer. Okay, now this is what you want it to look like. Okay, still pretty jiggly, almost thinking that may not set, but it will set up. Now I'm going to cover this with foil, and it is about 6-ish, 6:30-ish, and I'm gonna put my oven on 200. before we leave. And from 8:20 on, we'll cook it on 200 covered. Now when we get home from church, if it's not done, we'll crank that oven up and we're gonna cook it on 350 till it firms up. So right now, I'm just going to kind of keep it in the warm oven. One more thing before we cover this up is I'm gonna take my last chicken breast, and I'm gonna take the chicken here and just plop some over on the top there. And my mother does this, and I love it. I love it like this. It's a good bit of chicken that goes in this when you do it like that. And you can find these bone-in breasts from Kroger. That's where I pretty much have to find them. Walmart just doesn't sell them a whole lot, and I don't know why. But that's how you get your good broth, is get that chicken that's on a bone. We're just gonna pepper the top of this with the chicken there and completely cover it with foil before we get ready to cook it on 200. I'm gonna say about 4 hours. That's about how long we'll be in church with choir practice and Sunday school, and from there to the altar calls, probably about 4 hours. Okay, so let's cover it up. We'll put it in the oven just to sit there for just a few minutes, and then when we get ready to leave, we'll turn it on. All right, so this dressing I cooked 3 hours covered on 200, and then I did about an hour uncovered on 325, and this is what it looks like. And you can see when you scoop in it, it's still very moist and delicious. The best dressing you'll ever eat. Happy birthday, April. Tell everybody what we have for your birthday lunch today.
Thank you. Kyle had been bugging me about asking me what I wanted for my birthday, and I told him I wanted it to be low-key and that I wanted Thanksgiving dinner. So, he delivered. Yams, chicken for the kids, crock pot, mac and cheese, ooh Lord, mashed potatoes, greeny beanies, no, chicken and dressing, the gravy for the dressing, ham, English peas, cranberry sauce, and them egg things for the people that like them. I do not
tormented
like those.
Deviled eggs.
And of course the brown and serve rolls, which are my favorite. Happy birthday to me, and thank you, honey, for cooking all of my favorites.
And we have strawberry cake. Don't forget that.
And my favorite strawberry cake for my birthday. I'm getting old.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear April. Happy birthday to you. All right, make a wish.
She said, I wish all these people would leave.
Yay.
She said,